for this project inside the e-commerce database. So now we need to insert some data into these tables. The brands table and categories tables are these two tables where we will only insert text data, text content. But the products table is that table where we need to actually insert text data as well as images. So therefore we will need to create an insertion form or post editor in order to insert data into this table, because there will be images which we cannot actually insert directly from this interface from PHP MyAdmin. So first of all, we will add insert some categories to this table. Just click the table from here or from here, just click it. So you will see there is nothing, but you can click the insert button from here to insert some data. So the first field is basically the category ID, which is integer and auto incremented. We don't need to put anything there, but we can put some the title of the category or here in this text field. So I will add laptops, and in the second one I will add some cameras. We'll just say go. So we have inserted two records into this table. Just click the categories table again, and you can see category ID is 1 and 2. That means it's automatically being incremented. And cat title is laptops, and that in this we can insert more. For example, mobiles and computers. And just go back to the categories, and you will see there are 4 records. And now go to actually brands, click insert and say HP and Dell. Go, and you will see inside the brands folder, brands table, there are 2 records. Now you can once again go again and say LG and Samsung. So we have now, clicking go, we have now 4 records inside the brands table and also 4 records inside the categories table. And similarly like that we can add products, but we have images also, so therefore we cannot add them, but we can simply add these brands and categories dynamically to this area. And for this we simply need to go to our source code, and this is the area where we have actually added the static categories, but we can simply add dynamic categories from the database using using PHP. But we can directly write PHP codes over here, but we can also write the PHP codes in a separate file called functions, so that our code will be clear and transparent for everybody. Let's create another one file by using Ctrl S or going here new from file menu, and very simply create a PHP file, PHP starting tag and PHP ends here, and save this file by using Ctrl S. We'll save this inside the functions folder. We'll name it functions.php and very simply save it. Now we'll create a function. A function will be something like I will write a comment. Comment is written inside the PHP with 2 backslashes. After that you can write a comment. which is only visible to the programmers. So I'll say getting the categories. This is the function for categories. Now we can just simply say function. Function is a function itself in PHP as a command to create a function, and after that you can create a function with any name. For example, get cats. This is the function name, and you need to add two parentheses. This is basically the syntax for creating a function inside PHP, and after that you need to insert two curly brackets, and inside two curly brackets you can specify, or you can write the script, the PHP script for this whole function. So the PHP script is basically for getting the categories to display inside this area. The categories we will be getting from our from our database or table. So very simply, we first need to establish a connection to communicate with the database. That is very necessary because now we are retrieving or calling data from the database, so a connection must be established at this point. So connection will use MySQLi. Simply create con variable that will be equal to MySQLi, and inside the two parentheses you can simply write 4 parameters like this: double quotes, then a comma, normal comma, then double quotes, then double quotes, normal comma, similar like that. In the first you will write the server name, which is localhost, oh my god, localhost, and the second will be the username for that database, which is root, and third will be the password, and password is by default nothing, none for this localhost, local computer. Online there will be, when we will upload this project online, there will be a password, but here localhost we don't have. And at the last point, in the last parameter, we need to, this is actually MySQLi underscore connect, not only MySQLi connect. So here we need to write the database name in the last parameter, which is Ecommerce. Talking about this one we have created. So the connection has been established over here, and we'll add some more connection close and error etc MySQLi if the connection was not established, so there must be an error. That those things we will add later on, but at the moment we need to just get the categories from the database. Now we have established the connection, so next point we can now write PHP queries and PHP scripts over here. So the first thing is to get underscore cats variable. A local variable is in PHP is always created with the $sign. After that you can give it any name. So this is basically called local variable. So I have created this, and it is equal to double quotes and semicolon. That's mean the PHP statement has been closed, and inside the double quotes I will write SQL query. I will say select all from categories table. Very simple. I have written a query, SQL query, and I have saved that inside the local variable get underscore cats. So now I will say run underscore cats, another variable, local variable, and I will make it equal to MySQLi underscore query. Now at this point I am running a MySQL query where we need to add connection, this connection variable as a you need to add two parameters to MySQLi query. So the first is the connection, and after that the variable that has the query, which is this one, get cats. That's it. Very simple. And we need to make this variable global inside the function because it is outside the function, so it will not work. We need to just simply say global and put that variable. So this global command will make it work inside this function. So we have given that here. Now we will write a while loop. We'll say while, and inside while loop we will create another variable row underscore cats, which will be equal to MySQL I underscore fetch underscore array, and we will give the reference of this run underscore cats, and two curly brackets for this while loop as well. Actually, what we are going to do, we have written a query, and that's we have saved inside the get cats, and after that we say run cats, and we are running this query, executing this query using the MySQL I underscore query function. And then we say that while is basically a loop which will retrieve the data, all of the data, I mean all of the records from the database or from the table, and we are actually fetching this query, which is actually here. We are fetching this query using MySQL I underscore fetch array, and we are saving back to row underscore cats local variable we have created very simply, and the while loop is running, so it will fetch all the records inside the table. So that's very simple. Now we need to call from the database, from the table. We need the cat underscore id, a local variable I have created, and I will say row underscore cats is equal to cat underscore id inside two square brackets, and then another local variable I will create, cat title is equal to same row cats, and in here I will say cat underscore title. That's it. Very simple. I will also tell you what I have done. Basically, cat id is a local variable, cat title is also a local variable, and row cats is this variable which is bringing the data and is also fetching using MySQL I fetch, and this is the table, the field or the column inside the table, I mean this table, category table cat id. So it will take the id from the table, and it will take the title from the table which is being fetched. After that we can just simply say echo, and inside the echo statement we simply can insert li tag, and then ahrab is equal to nothing at this moment, and we will just simply say this variable title, sorry, cat title. That is the same thing we did over here inside the index.php file. We said, you know, simply li and then link, and this is a static link laptops. But in here in the functions page we say echo li is the tag list atom, after that ahrab, and the cat title is the variable which is bringing the data directly from the table dynamically, and we have just closed the anchor tag and li tag as well, and the while loop is running from here. It has started from here, from this curly bracket, and it is ending over here at this point. So as many records are there in the table, all of them will be repeating again and again, because this is a while loop. And very simply we can now go here and just can remove this all static categories, and we'll control S to save, and we'll come back to our this website, I mean the layout, refresh this. So there is no categories because we have removed them. Now in here we will simply start a PHP code and we'll close it, and after that we will simply call that function, I mean this function, which name is get cats, or here simply we can call that function get cats and two parentheses, which is the syntax for calling a function in the HTML page. So we have called that, but before this we need to actually include the functions page into this document. So we can do it anywhere, or just here before the HTML tag I can just insert a PHP starting and ending tag, and in here I can say include functions from functions folder. There is a file functions.php, so it will include that file to this page. This is a PHP command, so it will include the functions.php file to this page. Then we can call those functions like we did here. Get gets, we can call them because we have included that whole page over here, so we can directly access any of the functions we have created inside this functions.php page. Control S to save very simply. Now it should work dynamically. These laptops, cameras, mobiles and computers should be displayed now into this area. Simply refresh the page and you see laptop, cameras, mobiles and computers. 4 records are there, and all of them are dynamically displayed over here. If we add 2 more records, for example iPads and iPhones, and click go, 2 records are inserted. Now that here you can see 6 records are there. So just refresh this page and you see iPads and iPhones. That's dynamically done now. The same thing we can do for the brands. Just come here and copy all of the function. I have copied it and will paste after this or here, and we'll say getting the brands, and get gets, instead of get gets I will say get brands. I will say select all from brands, get brands, run brands. Here get brands, just I'm changing the variable names, the local variables name. That's just simple. Row brands, now brand ID and brand title, and I'll change this brand title over here as well, and from here to brand ID and brand title, and also this one to row brand or row brands and row brands. Control S to save. We have just changed the local variables, and now we can just simply display. First of all, just remove this static brands from here, and Control S to save, and come back over here, refresh your page. You see nothing is here in the brands section. But if we dynamically add the PHP page and call the function get brands, 2 parentheses, semicolon, this PHP close, Control S to save and refresh the page, you see nothing. Get brands. Let me check what happens. Brand title, row brands, brand title, feature array, run kit. Sorry, we need to change this variable as well to run brands. There was a mistake, we didn't change this variable. Now we have changed, so there should be brands dynamically coming from the database. Press it, you can see there are 4 brands in our table, or here brands table, HP, Dell, Samsung, etc. You can see over here if we add some from, insert some brands from here, for example Sony and Toshiba. So and go, click go. So now you can see inside the brands table we have 6 records, and when you refresh this page you will see 6 records here as well. That's simple, very simple. So we are just we have created two functions in PHP to get the categories and the brands, and have just called those functions over here and the HTML page, and we have also included the functions page, the top of the page, top of the HTML. Well, that's done. Now the next thing is basically to displaying, first of all inserting the products to this products table, and this then displaying them big inside this section of this website. So in next lecture we'll work on that. Stay tuned.